Hello, everybody. I know it has been quite a while since I've had new content on my YouTube channel. I promise you that it was not an intended break, it just sort of happened. The good news is that I have probably about 30, no, maybe 20 layouts, videos filmed and ready to go. The bad news is I have to edit all those and it might take me a while. So I just chose one randomly. There's no reason why I chose this particular layout to start with. I just chose it. Oh, my camera went really blurry there. Speaking of which, please forgive me for any decreases, I guess, in video quality because I am in a new space. So I decided that I would like to move my scrapbook room down to the basement so we could have all the bedrooms back in our house. It was a big part of the reason why we moved to this house, why we bought a new house, was so that I could have, not a bigger scrapbook space, but not necessarily I could have, sorry, I phrased that really wrong, so that we could have more bedrooms in our house. So we moved from a 3-bedroom house to a 4-bedroom house for the purpose of having an office and a spare bedroom still, as well as our own bedroom. So that's why we ended up moving. We moved almost a year ago. And in that time, we renovated our kitchen. I mean, completely renovated, like tore everything out and put everything new in. And we put all new flooring in the house. We did that before we moved in. But then recently we finished a room in the basement, which is where I am now, for my scrapbook room. So we did have to do some drywall work. We had to do we had to put flooring in. It was just concrete floor in here. And then we had to bring all of my stuff downstairs. So that definitely took the longest. I still don't have all of my stuff in my scrapbook room. So that's been a challenge, but I have brought enough down that I can make scrapbook layouts no problem. The main thing I don't have down here that kind of annoys me is my cardstock. Like my regular plain cardstock. It hasn't made its way down here yet. So I still need to do that. And then I need to put everything away. I was really, really hoping that I could end this unscheduled YouTube break with a scrapbook like room tour because I've never done one of those. However, nothing is put away. So it wouldn't be much of a tour. It would be basically empty shelves that you would be looking at. So that's not really ideal for a scrapbook room tour. Anyways, I just want to address why I hadn't been around on YouTube. I've been around. I've been watching YouTube and I have been scrapbooking. But I took a little break. So yeah. Anyways, this layout. Let's get to talking about this layout. So this layout is part of an album that I am making. And this album, I decided to challenge myself a little bit. It's for something different. I decided that I wasn't going to use any alphabet stickers in this album because I have so many alphabet stamps, dies. I have a silhouette that I can use. Like, there's so much that I can make titles with without needing alphabet stickers. So I thought, this would be a really fun challenge for me. Like, can I make an entire scrapbook album without using, well, I did not cut that very straight. Without using alphabet stickers. So far, it's been going really well. I'm not going to lie, it is challenging. Because there have been times when I'm just like, oh, just grab stickers. And then I think, no, that's not the point. The point is to try and do this. So I've been using stamps, dies, my silhouette. I've actually made some titles on my own, as well as cut some like pre-made titles. I think they're all Page Evans ones that I used, but maybe not. I'm pretty sure they're all Page Evans, but I did design some of my own titles. That took forever. Yeah. I'm not very good at using the computer to design things. So that took a really long time. But I did it. You will see that eventually. I do have 2 older videos that I filmed back when I was up in my other room. So I will edit those and upload them as well. They are also pictures from, okay, one's a layout from this trip, one's a layout from a previous trip, but travel photos. Oh, just gonna take a sip of coffee. Okay, I tried to move away from the microphone, so hopefully you didn't hear the swallowing. But so for this layout, I think it was the first one that I made, and I really just wanted to keep it simple. I just wanted to do, something really easy that wasn't really complicated or anything like that. So I got out my 6x8 paper pad from the Simple Stories Safe Travels collection, which I started out with the intention of using only that collection for this album. That didn't work. It's, yeah. Sorry, I need to write something else down. I just saw. The album has changed. Not intentionally, but it did. I also started out only going to use craft and white cardstock on the pages, and then I was just scrapbooking away one day, not thinking about it, and I made a layout without any white or craft cardstock on it. So I then went back and put more layouts in the album that didn't have white or craft cardstock on them. So that happened. It was not intentional. It just, I was just scrapbooking away, having a good time, just working. And, yeah, so I laughed. It's fine. But so for this layout, I'm pretty sure I cut those strips at, was it 1 or 1.5 inches? I should have grabbed the layout. I'm going to go with 1 inch. Sorry, I was just counting the strips there and kind of looking at how much space they took up on the page. So I'm going to go with their 1 inch wide strips. So I think they're 1x8. And then I just cut a 1/2 inch off 2 sides of pattern paper and put it onto a craft cardstock. Yeah, so really, really simple, easy background. And that's what I wanted for this album. Like, I didn't want to create an album that had, lots of technique things, mixed media, and things like that. Like, I really wanted the pages to be, like, clean, easy to like focus on, really, you know, like more of a clean and well organized album. It's definitely not how I would normally plan an album. Typically I don't plan an album. Is the simplest answer. But I felt like doing something different. I didn't want to do the same thing again. So there I was auditioning different alphabets that I could use on this layout. So I did go with the LE Studio. I think those are called large Jane alphas. I'm positive that they're the large ones because only the large one has dies. And I do die cut. I'm pretty sure I die cut out letters. And I'm also fairly certain that I die cut like Jennifer McGuire does when she puts like 2 or 3 layers under the cardstock, like you cut them out a few times. Those alphas are the only alpha product, I guess, not product, but sticker like product that I'm using in this album. And they are Nicole Jones 911 digital files. Again, I am auditioning to see which I like better, if I want the rectangle or the circle. I think I go with the circle. Yes, I do. And I'm using a 3/8 of an inch circle punch to punch them out. It is the perfect size. It makes it super easy to do so. For the letters, I can almost guarantee that I stamped them using my Misty tool because they are very solid. And usually when I stamp with a stamping block with those letters, I don't get the same result. Yes, and I did layer up the cardstock so they are fairly dimensional. They're not like a foam thicker or anything, but they're not flat either. If you wanted to, you could cut them out and pop them up on foam squares, but you would have to have more patience with foam squares than I do, because I don't have patience with foam squares at all. A lot of that's because I have trouble. I hurt the nerve between my pointer finger and my thumb in that little valley there. I heard it actually right before we went on this trip. It was when I injured it because my thumb was still numb on this trip and I was dropping things. It was a bad situation. So I was really worried about using my SLR camera. So I used our little the GX7 PowerShot. Oh, I'm just showing you how I store my dies. It's well, now I can't remember who makes it. It's a case. If you go on Amazon, you'll find it. It's a plastic case and it comes with a few of those sheets. They're magnetic sheets that sit inside of it. And I have found that it's the best way to store my dies. That's what works the best for me. Prior to that, I was storing them with the stamps, just like in the packaging. But it was annoying. So I stopped doing that. These are little gems from, is it Picket Fence? I think they're called Picket Fence. I wanted to say like White Fence or White Picket, but I think it's Picket Fence. I love them because they come in a little container like that and not in a little zippy baggie. Also why I really like the Trinity Stamps ones. Trinity Stamps or Trinity Designs? I'm not sure. Anyways, they come in little rectangular containers. Similar idea. So I really like those. And I'm using this craft tool. I think it's by a company called Maker Forte. I don't know if I bring it up to show you. I definitely do in one video that I made, but but I don't know if it was this one. And I'm just using Scotch Quick Dry adhesive to glue those teeny tiny little pieces down. It's not easy to do. If you do want to use little gems like this, I would strongly recommend that you get some kind of tool like I'm using. And I also find it easier to put little dots of glue on the page and then pick out the gems that I would like to use. I've just found that a lot easier to deal with. I was trying to figure out how to add them in by the title because I was like, oh, it looks weird just having them in those two spots and not in the middle where the letters are. But yeah. So I was like, well, I'll just do a little row of them underneath here, like we used to do with those sticky rhinestone sheets. Yeah. Oh, I do show you. It is Maker Forte. I thought it was. I got mine from my local scrapbook store. I don't know where else you can get them. My local store is To Scrapbook Friends, and they ship all across Canada, and I'm pretty sure they ship to the US too. That's where I get a lot of my supplies for scrapbooking. Not all of them, but a lot. Here I'm wondering if I want to have more room for journaling. So I'm just measuring the square that I would need out of graph paper. That graph paper is a digital print by Nicole Jones 911. And it comes in all sorts of different color combinations. I'm pretty sure that's the blue and light blue one that I'm using there. But it does come in lots of colors, and you just print it on your home printer as many times as you would like. So I have been using a lot of her files recently because I just printed a whole bunch of stuff. So that's what I've been using lately. So here I'm just going to write my journaling with a black Muji pen, which super sad. I bought those pens a while ago, like in 2017. And some of them are starting to stop working. And I was really sad because I'd have to go to London to get more. And I can't go to London right now. Well, I could, but it's probably not recommended. But yeah, so it was a sad day for me. So I ended up buying these pens. I was actually just using one to plan out my, what I was going to say for this album. Oh, sorry, I just dropped it. And it's called, they're made by Pilot, and it's called Bottle to Pen. So they make these pens out of recycled water bottles, and they look like a water bottle, and it's really cool. So I've been using those recently. They're very similar to the Muji pen. Not quite the same, but very similar. And I really like it. So that's going to That's going to wrap up my layout for the day. If you have any questions, please just let me know, and I will do my very best to answer them. And thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I will be back soon with lots more layouts to share with you. Thanks, guys. Bye.